Hold on 1 second. Let me. What's happening? Happy Sunday. I got my homeboy, Lamont the scientist, up on here representing the Show Me State. Last time we done this probably almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I think he was living in North Carolina.
Yeah. It's been at least a year. It's almost 2 now. I want to say he's probably 8 months or something. Yeah.
This is the first time I've done this on Instagram. I've never been live on Instagram before. I don't even think I joined nobody's live. Maybe in the chat. So I'm trying something different now. We're gonna see how this works because I always be putting a link up to YouTube. So
are you on YouTube too, or we just on Instagram?
No, we on YouTube and Instagram.
Okay, right on. Okay, yeah, because YouTube, the YouTube live is different. You know what I'm saying? You get like a different crowd on the
Instagram.
Yeah,
we on both. I usually just only do YouTube, but now I just added the Instagram.
Yeah. I usually only do my lives on YouTube too.
Okay, yeah. So this one here, it allows you to do simultaneously with the StreamYard. So let the people know what you're about, Lamont the scientist. He's the owner of Roguewolf Project. Yeah. Let them know what you're about, man. How did you, for those who missed the first one, how did you get into dogs? Like, did you grow up with dogs? Like, what's the deal? Did you work at a shelter and you you know that's the famous
when you talk to dog men,
85 dogs.
Yeah, when you talk to dog men and women, you get a bunch of wide variety of origin stories, you know what I'm saying? But mine is like most people in the hoods, man, who fell in love with dogs. I was probably one in a million where I was. There were no other kids like me outside. It started with all animals, and I'm still pretty much that way. You know what I'm saying? It started early. I just had a fascination. I was a kid in the hood who would, stray cats would have kittens underneath some abandoned building. I'd be underneath there getting kittens. My mom would never let me keep them. I was just that kind of kid. How I got to where I am today, as far as dogs go, I probably got my first dog. My mom finally let me get a dog when I was way too young to have one. You know what I mean? It was like, here you go, here's a dog. You're way too young to have one. And because I was irresponsible, it was like no more dogs. But I was kind of addicted at that point. You know what I mean? My biological father had pit bulls. So at an early age, I'm 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, walking around with a real pit bull. Just back in the days, there were no bullies at these times. You know what I mean? So, and just kind of grew into training. I went into training and fell in love with like dog psychology and then breeding along the way. You know what I mean? I just kind of I've been all over the place with it. You know what I mean?
When did you realize that you had something? Like, because when you just starting up, you don't have the same vision, and then one day you might say, "Hey, I can be a breeder. I can." When did you know? Like, what? Take us back to that.
Honestly, it was early, man. I was young. You know what I mean? It was early because at a very young age, adults treated me differently by the way that I could communicate or respond or understand or train or how I could just kind of manipulate a dog. You know what I'm saying? Very early. I mean, I was young in my neighborhood when adults would be having litters. They would say, go get Lamont. You know what I'm saying? I might have been 5th grade. You know what I mean? And I knew this was different. You know what I'm saying? When other kids had no idea. I was the kid. If you told me your dog bites, I was the kid who was going to find out. You know what I'm saying? Like no other kids like that were on that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? If a dog was stray, it was my dog. No other kids would even, you know what I mean? Like it was very early that I knew I had a different understanding of dogs. You know what I mean? And I, to be honest, I can't remember a time when I didn't feel like I could do what I do now. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, you make all the mistakes along the way. You know what I'm saying? But I was always super confident in what I was doing, and I always had a pretty decent outcome every time. You know what I mean? And no matter whether I was doing training or breeding or when I was trying to, understand dog psychology. I made all the mistakes, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying? But there was never no doubt. I can't remember the last time, probably. So to answer that question, man, I was very young. I was, 10, 12. You know what I mean?
So when did you like? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Jaguar. He's a boy. Up until like a couple months ago, I was gonna get another boy for my second dog because I don't want to breed and I don't feel no type of confidence into breeding. You know what I mean? So shout out to all the breeders out there, no matter how big or small you are, because Ryan last week with all the challenges that you guys be having is amazing. You gotta be like that's like and it's not like that's not like you making millions of dollars and you making money.
No, you don't make no money. You don't make no money.
It's generally from the love of animals, which is a beautiful thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the love of nature, man, to be honest, like that's what kind of keeps me honest. You know what I'm saying? I look at nature and when I get ready to breed and I think like, you know what I'm saying, how do I do this with respect to nature? How do I not take out so many things that are natural about what Mother Nature would choose if she was creating this dog? You know what I'm saying? I get to play around with like color and size and temperament and all that kind of stuff, but I try to keep it honest because like you just said, it's just an all around love of animals that you have to have when you're breeding dogs for purpose. If you're breeding dogs for money, I don't know. But I mean, they still face the same challenges that we do if you're breeding dogs for purposes, for purpose though. But you know what I'm saying? That's it's a real thing.
So back from when you started, like what are some things that you look back at when you first started that you'll laugh at yourself like, bro, I don't believe I used to do that. As far as whatever, training, breeding, whatever.
Oh man, so many things, so many things. So things that I believed in, the training techniques. I mean, there's so many things, man. I used to, there was a time in my life where I bred dogs for the paperwork, right? Or like per paperwork, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm breeding this line to this line, you know what I'm saying? I would only breed. I would never do something like that today. Never. You know what I mean?
Yeah, speak on that because pads is a big thing. Like I like pads, but you do got to have the performance. As we can see, LeBron, I'm rooting for Bronny James, right?
Mm-hmm. Right on, yeah, right.
Genetically, he's there, but if you look at Gilbert Arenas' son is on something. He younger than Bronny.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Genetics don't always go out like that because Gilbert Arenas' son like 6'6", like it's crazy.
So back in the day, I was in my pit bull days, and I would never do this again. I would never join like a specific breed community, right? I would, aside from once Rogue Wolf becomes a breed, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like a golden retriever or pit bull or just like those specific, we just try to stay out of those communities because so what was happening to us we were young black hood kids going to buy pit bulls from the guy who we bought them from. Was an older white dude. He had a farm. He had all this land. And when we would cross the bridge to get to him, we were already enamored. You know what I'm saying? When we see a farm, we never seen a farm before. You know what I mean? Like, he treated us like shit. We come to find, he sold us dogs. You know what I'm saying? But we could tell we knew other people who we sold dogs to, he ain't treat them like that. You know what I mean? Like, and so then when you hear stories about people, later on people came out with all white puppies, and it's like, how did this happen? You know what I'm saying? None of these dogs come from white dogs, you know what I mean? So, Damien, what's happening? When you heard about him lying, I look at some of my dogs and be like, I can't even really say, you know what I'm saying? And plus, he treated us, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, we didn't know no better, you know what I'm saying? Once I started to like breed for purpose or for performance, so even when I was doing that though, I kind of shifted. I was like, well, this dog, because we did get some dogs that were bad, that were just like not what they should have been, So I stopped breeding those dogs. I kind of like got mad at him. I wouldn't breed those dogs. I wouldn't promote those dogs. And I started to breed for purpose. It was just a much better, feeling, you know what I'm saying? A much better understanding of the dogs, a much better way of like observing the dogs. I observed my dog when I was breeding for pets a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? My dogs that I breed now, they go through so much more than the dogs that I did that were bred for like this one specific thing or two, you know what I'm saying? This one specific idea, I should say, you know what I mean? Like nobody was doing different things with pit bulls back in those days, you know what I mean? So you either were weight pulling or you were, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, I mean, I don't care what the breed is. At this point in my in my dog life, I look at the dog in front of me, right? I do kind of look and see if more dogs like this were produced by this family of dogs, or if it even comes from us. Is it an outcross, or does it come from a certain family of dogs? But either way, the dog in front of me and maybe one immediate ancestor, like the mom or the dad, you know what I'm saying? Both of those, I see how they perform that. But honestly, it's like I need this dog right here to be doing this thing. And if I stay that way, then the family stays good. If I keep breeding the dog in front of me that is the better dog, that kind of like goes more towards the vision, then there's no harm in that. I'm doing the right thing if I do that. You know what I mean? But sometimes I would breed, back in breeding pets, who had the better pet, and you never know what was true about these dogs. I didn't see them. You know what I mean? I never saw them. You know what I mean? Like you never know how much of these stories were fabricated, if these dogs were bred to those dogs, if these dogs are even off of those dogs. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, even if they are, just because you're Floyd Mayweather's grandson, don't mean shit when you get hit. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to respond? And you know what I'm saying? Like I need to know that first. I don't care who you are. I mean, I kind of care, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. But I spend so much time, so much money, so many arguments, so many debates. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I allowed people to treat me like shit because I needed this. You know what I'm saying? If I had been breeding on performance, that dude couldn't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? And you can't sell me shit. I want what I want. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see it. You know what I mean? So, and I did that with American Bulldogs. I did that with Bull Mastiffs. I've bred a bunch of. I've been into a bunch of breeds, but that's the one thing that I would never do again. I don't care. Even if I got into American Bullies, I need to see this one be able to run and breathe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I need to be able to see it function. I don't care who his granddad was. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that.
Because like I said, I don't know about breeding, but that just makes sense to me. And I just showed you a basic example. LeBron James like damn near like 6'9". His son only like not even 6'2". Gilbert Arenas is 6'4", 6'3". His son like 6'6".
Right.
He might be the first number one pick in a couple of years, if less of it's somebody from overseas. So, and then you got Carmelo. So you just gotta and there's nothing wrong. I'm not anti-peds.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Yeah.
And you just gotta. He's basically saying, and I agree. You gotta go above and beyond. What the peds are.
Yeah. If you're doing it right, then the peds will be fine. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of one reason that I kind of documented so much on YouTube and Instagram, is because you can see it. You know what I mean? If you're doing it right, you can see that I'm putting together the best dogs every single time. So in that case, you can say that ped is right because you saw it in real time. But too often in like these other specific breed groups, I was in a President Canario group one time, and not dissing impressive people. I'm not dissing y'all. I'm not just saying y'all. I know y'all wild, but they would just be arguing all day long. I mean, over like type and height and blah blah blah, and you'd be like, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just looking to see, I don't care if it's a presser or not. Can it run? Can it jump? Can it breathe? Does it hunt? Does it, you know what I'm saying? Does it track? Does it that's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just be, you just got me, like I said, I want to look at the dog in front of me and also the person that I got the dog from too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's their understanding of the actual dogs in front of you? Don't keep telling me about the grandparents and you know what I'm saying? Like, how did these dogs get here? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Damian McFarland, shout out to Damian, shout out to everybody on Instagram. I'm gonna start doing this from now on now since I did it. But just so you know, I think after an hour they say Instagram goes out. But we might go past the hour on this one. Damian McFarland, how do you envision your project? How do you envision it as a bull herder? For those who don't know, go ahead, also explain to them what a bull herder is. And I also got a question coming up from my man Bird City out in Vegas.
Okay. So a bull herder, and please, bull herder people, don't come at me because you know what I'm saying, because y'all will.
That's crazy how people are. They take
people are, because that title alone gets people hair standing up. You know what I'm saying? If you call it a bull herder, their hair's on the back of their neck. They looking at you like, what you gonna say? But a bull herder, in my opinion, is just any herder type dog bred to any bull type dog. Probably more specifically, a working bull type dog. I don't have to say a working herder type dog. Most herders are going to work a little bit to some extent most of the time. No matter
herders
how.
are what? Herders are what? Dogs are herders.
The more popular ones are Malinois these days that people are using. That's what I used. German Shepherds are herders. Say healers or herders. You know what I'm saying? These kind of dogs are herders. Dutch Shepherds. I mean, even if someone was to take a Turbin or something like that, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen anyone do that, but I mean.
Okay. That's like they Belgian Turbin. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know those. You know, the herder breed, herder type dog to a bull type dog. Preferably a working bull type dog for most people. You cross those two, and that's just that mix there, right there in that first generation are bull herders. And it's like I said, it's a lot of different ways people get to them. So but people get mad and they call, whatever. But how I envision my thing is like, I'll look and see like what's going on in like the dog quote unquote industry now. And most people that I see, nobody's like, I miss the days, or I think like people miss the days of just like having their dog and their family loving their dog, right? But that dog still being highly willing and highly capable to work for the family without being a liability. So let's say 1 out of 20 pit bulls is this way, right? But it might be a liability if you're walking at the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to kind of like take some of that liability away, but still kind of keep that workability and that willingness to work, preferably guardian type dogs. And that's why I used American Bulldogs, because they're kind of more of a close quarter guardian kind of dog than say like a dog is going to go 100 yards to do something. You got to kind of come closer to it. And just that for, families, for active people. When I say families, I don't mean just throw it in the yard and play with the kids, but people like me. I hike, I travel, my dogs are with me all the time. They're perfect. I breed them so that they're a perfect weight I can put 3 or 4 of them in the car. They're perfect size, so I can carry 3 or 4 of them. They can make it up a mountain. They can make it through a creek. You know what I mean? They can, and still durable enough to maybe spend the night outside, you know what I'm saying, without cover, or, just those kind of things. But, that's what I envision. I envision, say, like when the golden retriever was started and people found out, oh man, these dogs are working. Let's get everybody one of these dogs. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like where I'm kind of, what I'm saying, what I hope to do in the end.
So you want your dogs to be part of the AKC?
I don't really I don't really care. I don't really care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that don't really, not really. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I mean, if it makes it there, like, I understand like what happens when like a dog makes it to that level. You know what I'm saying? I want my dogs to be on that level, to be of recognition. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So even when I say that I'm doing this, like, I breed dogs for purpose. But I also understand they have to be recognizable for people. So I kind of have a phenotype, and like I have all of that in mind as I'm going towards like an end. But so I want them to be recognizable as AKC dogs. But do I care if they're ever AKC dogs? I'm not really.
Makes sense. You want to have that phenotype.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question, Damien. So, speaking of your Rogue Wolf projects, you just had a litter. I can actually hear them in the back. Is that them?
Yeah.
So tell us about your most recent litter. Like, I think they're like 3 weeks old.
3 weeks old now. They're looking good. They're acting good. They're doing some of the things that I love about puppies at this age. I like to look for who's the escape artist, who has the attitude, who, you know what I mean? Like, even at this point, you can kind of like see some of those things. Who's growing the fastest? You know what I'm saying? Who's the calmest? You know what I mean? Who's the most sensitive? But this litter here, I took my dog Soma, who is basically a bull herder to an American bulldog, a working American bulldog. For those of you who are on Instagram, I took my dog Moon to Southpaw Kennels Zorro. An amazing. He had everything I needed. He had a good.
Zero is a bull herder.
He's Soma's dad. He's an American bulldog.
A straight American bulldog.
Bull American bulldog. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bull American bulldog.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, I like American bulldogs. Yeah.
He's fire, bro. You got to check him out, and to see him in person is just like. So he just fits so many things. He gave me good bone, good leg, good, just solid dog, a good head, good eyes.
Soma is your stud.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Soma's he's the father to these puppies. Yeah. So I took Soma to Apollo, who's in phenotype she looks 100% Malinois, but she also has some American Bulldog and some Pit Bull in her. And she has it on her mom's side and on her dad's side. Pink Swish is what's happening. She has it on her mom's side and on her dad's side, but she looks so much like a Malinois. But yeah, she looks like a full Malinois. Most people wouldn't believe she had any American Bulldog and Pit Bull in her. But I took him to her and got 10 puppies. Yeah, Soma is a go. Yeah, Soma's a go. Apollo's up there too. She's fire too. But yeah, I took him to her, and I'm hoping.
How many males and how many females? Because I'm asking you questions so that way, if somebody want to reach out, they be like, okay,
yeah, right on. Yeah.
You never know who might reach out.
Yeah, right on. I got 5 males, 5 females.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think as of now, I know for sure 3 females are gone. For sure, 3 females are gone, and then there's maybe 2 or more puppies. I'm not sure what they haven't chosen sex or anything like that. But I mean, there might be only like 5 available right now.
And tell us the personality traits of this Soma and Apollo, and what made you bring them two together? Because you do selective breeding.
So what made me bring them two together was Apollo. Soma is a high prey drive dog, but when it comes to like protection, he's kind of defensive, right? And I like that. I like my dog to be close to me. You know what I mean? Like Soma doesn't leave more than 5 feet from me most of the time, unless we're playing fetch or something like that. I love that. I like that. But I did want to kind of like Apollo is a lot more civil, right? She is no questions asked. Soma will look at you. What are you doing? Why are you here? And then he'll come over there and then he'll handle business. Apollo, right there. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to put some of that back into Soma, while hopefully keeping Soma's a big, solid, powerful, immediate power. He's going through it. I know that I anticipate losing some of that, but I'll get it back in a future breeding. You know what I mean? So, but I wanted to kind of add some of that civil aggression, some of that quick, from Apollo to Soma. And plus, like I said, and then I didn't want to lose Soma's highly trainable. Like he is focused, highly trainable. Apollo is the same way. Apollo is a brilliant dog. So I didn't want to add those things without losing those things that are just as important to me. You know what I mean? So I don't lose that with Apollo, and I kind of add to that with Soma. Then I got to account for things like, hair and, those kind of things going forward. But, just adding those two personalities, I'm hoping, and even if I only get maybe 2 pups, those will be the pups that I breed going forward. I want to breed for that trait. You know what I'm saying? A good blend of that. So, if I got 2 out of the 10 that are that way, then cool, because those will be the ones that I breed. Now, other people might take their dogs and do whatever they want to do with them, but dogs coming from me, I have a specific vision for those dogs.
And that makes sense, though. Just looking at it, like I said, I'm not no breeder, but that makes sense. You want to create balance, and you always want to improve as a breeder. You always want to improve.
Yeah. So if I get a dog that's kind of in between, so Apollo's the kind of dog that she couldn't just go to, say, at any old family, right? A family that just makes the most picnic. But Soma is. So you can take Soma to a picnic and he'll just chill right next to you. He'll lay down, go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. Apollo will chill, but the distance where she feels safe is a lot shorter than Soma, you know what I mean, or a lot longer than Soma. So Apollo doesn't feel safe if you're here. you got to be here for Soma to feel unsafe. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you know, but there are times where Soma is, you know, Soma like Moon's this way too, where Moon will say, do you want me to handle this? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Apollo, there's times where Apollo ain't like that. She's handling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just kind of, I want to get, you know, kind of like see how good of a, you know what I'm saying, a blender that I could get without losing that.
For most families, you want a dog that is only gonna, like I said, sometimes certain dogs, they so civil, it's not gonna be right for most people, to be honest with you. But you also want to, you need them to handle business. You tell them that word.
Exactly.
And that's
And the dope thing, bro, is that most of the people who got puppies from me, Soma's litter and Moon's last litter and Moon's first litter before this, have told me those exact things. They are perfect with the families. They handle business when it's time to handle business, and you can bring them back. You can get them off. You can tell them off and bring them back, and they're just fine. And Soma is just that way. One thing about Soma is that Soma might be a little too powerful for the average family. You know what I'm saying? It might be scary to train Soma for like the average family.
How much is Soma? How much you weigh?
Soma probably only weighs about this right now. He's like, I think it's 87 right now.
Nice and shit.
But I mean, he feels like 105 when he hits you. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Like, and when he was growing up playing with him, you got to really be in there to train him. You know what I'm saying? I have to like really be in there. Most people don't have that in them to do that. You know what I mean? But so knocking, you know, I want to not me personally. I love that. You know what I'm saying? But knocking some of that down and kind of like make it more manageable for a family, you know what I mean? And again, you know, phenotype, all of that plays, you know what I'm saying? Because if it's recognizable, then, you know, families will know that this is that dog, and you know what I'm saying? It's just you know, yeah.
That makes sense. Pink Swishers, how the pups doing?
They amazing. I just put up a short on YouTube. Check it out. Where I'm playing with one of the puppies and she grabs my finger and she's shaking it. You know, she don't even got teeth yet. She's never bitten anything. She's never bitten anything. She's never, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of like playing with her and she starts growling. I hold my hand out and I don't shove my hand in her face. She finds my hand, she looks for my hand and she bites it and she shakes it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? It might be this, you know, I'm gonna mess with them again a little bit later, but Pink Swishers, they doing super good. They gaining weight. The leg length is something that I wanted to see, and they getting long legs like I hoped for. I mean, they're good. They're real good.
So an ideal client would be who would be
an ideal client would be somebody active, and by active I mean it's like, you know, you want to get up and go walk your dog 3-4 miles in the morning, you know what I'm saying, maybe again in the afternoon, you know what I'm saying, you got plans this weekend to go do something and you taking your dog, it's like your dog can go, you going camping, you going hiking, you going, you know, just whatever, you're going to be active this weekend, and that's you most weekends, you know what I'm saying, or most times when you know, me personally, I have a good amount of time during the day, you know, most days. And the dogs, they fit me perfectly because I'm an active person. I will get up and put some headphones and just go on a walk. You know what I'm saying? Whether I had dogs or not, I'll go ride my bike. You know what I'm saying? I'll go do these things. You know what I'm saying? The ideal person for these dogs is somebody like that, somebody who just is a natural mover, a natural worker, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause they're fun too, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to throw frisbees and take them swimming, and you know the dog will fetch and come back to you. I didn't have to train my dogs to do that. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of like understood it, and you know.
What about clients that's into PSA, IGP, hog hunting?
So these are the ideal dogs for those people. You know what I'm saying? The ideal client is just an active family person. But for PSA and all the kind of stuff, these are the ideal dogs for that. I mean, they are as trainable, they are as willing, as capable as any dog that's doing it. You know what I mean? I have no doubt that I could take someone out on the field and he'll down, stay, bite, out. You know what I mean? He'll do all that stuff. And Apollo too. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt they do it all now. You know what I'm saying? They do all that stuff now. You know what I mean? I mean, there's different. different, little different rules and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, even weight pooling, I mean, my dogs have the drive for all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
So they're
And
versatile.
naturally.
What about hog hunting?
So Soma and Gray, I would put Soma in. I'm taking Soma this October to hog hunt.
Okay.
He hasn't done it. He's
I can
hunted.
tell. I can just look at him and see he gonna do it.
Soma's gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna take him. My only thing about Soma is getting him to get along with the other dogs there. But
okay.
I know that I can though. You know what I'm saying? I know that I can, but you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be the project. But I'll do it. But yeah, no, Soma, I have no doubt that he can do it. Gray, I have no doubt that she will do it. My only thing with Apollo is that Apollo will do it too. That's my highest prey drive dog. Apollo is
more than Soma. Okay.
Yeah, she is. I mean, her prey drive is kind of, it's almost annoying. You know what I'm saying? To at some point, you know what I mean? So I know that she will. My only thing, and I've seen people do it with lighter dogs than her. You know what I'm saying? It's just my own personal lack of knowledge of how. So she's about 70 pounds actually. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but she gets so rangy. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like feels light in the midsection, where someone feels like power in the midsection. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, yeah. To be honest, they all have such high prey drive, and then, like I said, Gray and Soma are such solid dogs that there's no doubt that that they do it. If they saw a hog right now, they go get it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Especially if they're going after cats and stuff like that, or coyotes.
Yeah, Soma's caught raccoons and.
Oh yeah, he ready.
Yeah.
The raccoons.
Yeah, Apollo too. Every dog except for Gray has killed an animal. Every dog, Moon, Apollo, Soma, every single one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's up. So predator defense. Before we get into that one, this is from my man Bird 702 Rebel City. He said, "What signs, behaviors do you look for to decide what a dog is better for, protection or hunting? What signs do you look for?"
So for hunting, it's a little bit different. For protection, because it's the thing that I deal with the most, I just look for how the dog initially responds to unfamiliar things, whether it be animals or people. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the first thing that I look for, me personally. For hunting, that's I couldn't say. I don't do enough of that. You know what I mean? I'll kind of like my friends who are into that, I kind of like ask them those kind of go to them for those kind of questions. You know what I mean? But so for I'll tell you this: when I was going to take Soma to hunt raccoons when I was in North Carolina, one thing that I tested with Soma is I knew he had prey drive. One thing I tested was his pain tolerance. I would put Soma through so many things because I knew the raccoon was going to fight back, and he had fought dogs before, but those were quick fights. You know what I'm saying? Soma was. It was quick. That was, you know what I mean. But but again, I have to defer to my homies who actually do the dog hunting. Yeah. But as far as personal protection, I'll take my puppies out at 6-8 weeks and just kind of like have them near some strangers. Maybe the strangers walking by, and I saw with Moon, she was 6 weeks old when people would walk by. Or no, I took her to the park. I took her litter to the park, and people wanted to come up to pet her. And her ears are up and she's barking. She ain't running. She ain't backing up. And if they take a step closer, she's going closer. You know what I mean? And so I separated her and her brother. They were the ones doing that. And then I separated her when she was the one better at understanding. And she would actually go to it and bite. You know what I'm saying? At 8, 9 weeks old. Same with Soma. I had them at the park, and somebody walked up and the other puppy just kind of like chilled and watched, and Soma was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? You too close. You know what I mean? I think from then on, I kind of put him in situations to see if that would happen again, make sure it wasn't a fluke. You know what I'm saying? And then he showed consistently every single time that that's really what he was about. So from then on, I just kind of like put him through like the normal protection training scenarios, and.
Speaking of that, what special tips do you have as far as like building prey drive? What tips do you have for the people out there that's trying to build a prey drive? Because that is a skill. That is a skill to be able to do that. And it's medicine.
Yeah,
Or
so the thing that works for me, if I have a dog who doesn't just naturally have that just right off the bat, you know what I'm saying, who just doesn't show that right off the bat, I'll find something that they're interested in, and I'll tether them, tie them, and just treat it like a prey thing. You know what I'm saying, and just keep them away from it. It might be slowly. Today she was interested in for 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying. If after 20, 30 seconds she ain't back, take her off. Do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow now it's 10 seconds. Now you talking to her, you're doing whatever your positive marker is, right? So my positive markers, if y'all watch my videos, it'd be like, good boy, good girl, whatever lets them know they're doing the right thing. You're giving the dog that as they do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But you're still not giving it this thing to them. You're not letting them have it. You're not letting them get to it. Maybe on day 3, you let them bite it one time if they'll bite it. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe see if they want to hold on to it. But they should. If they showing any signs, if it's getting any better, then might probably do some possession with them, or you try to pull it, take it away from them. Nothing too crazy, but you're giving them whatever the positive marker is. Good boy, good dog, whatever it is. This is what works for me most of the time when I have this problem. But and eventually that dog understands what's going on. So Gray, when she was a puppy, there were dogs in her litter that had higher prey drive than her from the jump. There's a video of me with Gray biting the sleeve, and I'm holding the sleeve. Before that video, though, I had to go through so much to even get her interested in the sleeve because her prey drive just really wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? She had all the other dope things that I liked, but her prey drive. And now if you see her today, she is a prey machine. She is nuts about it today.
so you doing something right.
Yeah. So what I did was just kind of like I kind of made the kind of like built the drive, right? I built just kind of like put fire on that drive every day, pour gasoline on that every day. Finally gave it to her. She finally got this thing. You know what I'm saying? Now let's see how bad you want it when I try to take it away. And I just kind of work on that every day. For Gray, it probably took 5 days. And then after that, she was bam. You see how she is out here now. You know what I mean? You see her now. But like I said, it took maybe 5 days, but I did it every day for 5 days. You know what I'm saying? I did it every day. I didn't take any breaks. I monitored it. I pushed her a little bit harder. I got her a little bit closer as she did the right things. And then when she got the reward after that, she was like, oh, this is what we want in those moments. And I would see it, her on the leash after that, pulling, going crazy, going nuts, clawing, trying to get to it now. Before, she would just kind of like chase it a little bit, and then she look around, what's going on, a leaf fell, a squirrel, you know what I'm saying? And then, little by little, we kind of like upped it, you know what I'm saying? And make it something that she's semi-interested in, you know what I'm saying? If you have to give her a piece of soft food. This is another trick I'll use. You know what I'm saying? I'll give her, in the hand that I hold the rag in, I'll give her a little bit of soft food. You know what I'm saying? She eats it. Now she thinks, well, maybe this soft food comes from this, so I'm doing it over here. She's over here. She's trying to get to it. She's reaching, you know what I mean? Just like, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of tricks that you could use to do that kind of stuff, but you make them interested in it. You don't give it to them for a while. And then you finally give it to them and you give them that praise or whatever. Some people do treats. Me, it's just good boy, good girl. You know what I mean? And before you know it, if you're kind of consistent with that, you can take that same exercise and you can move it onto a bigger object. You know what I'm saying? Like Gray hits a tire now in my backyard. You know what I'm saying? I started with a towel. You know what I'm saying? Now she'll treat that tire like the towel, and she'll treat a squirrel like the tire. You know what I mean? So
That's some great information.
yeah.
That's some great valuable information right there to build up that prey drive. Because some dogs just don't have it, and people just like kind of give up.
Yeah.
It is levels to it. You ain't gonna get to me like you ain't gonna get like a livestock guardian dog that's with this prey drive. They not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Your dog
definitely.
got the genetics of the pit bull blood, the bulldog, and the herder blood. Then you just harness.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Now, what are some differences you notice from your breedings between your males and your females? Or would you consider them the same, or would you say, of course, besides size, the boy's gonna be bigger?
Yeah. Man, so that's one of those things. That's one of those things that's kind of like it's kind of like based on the breeder so much. I mean, not the breeder, the new owner. If you're asking as far as like how they turned out in the end, But I'll say this: the females that I know, say from Soma's litter, are just as confident as the males from Soma's litter. Um, there was no real personality difference. Like you said, the size difference. There was no real personality difference. The only time I noticed like personality differences is when the owner might be a little less than the other owners. You know what I'm saying? A little less involved than the other owners. But I had no, I really had no bad feedback. And all the feedback that I got was um Jesus says the females are a bit more. I think we just treat the females. We just pay more attention to the females. They're not. I wouldn't say they're like I said. That's a Well, no, yeah, no. That is true. That is true. The females are more independent. That is true. The females do seem to be. The males are a little bit closer to us. The females do seem to be.
That's just like humans, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That is true. If there's any
Little
difference,
boys, these little females, they be having their conversations be way better
yeah,
than
yeah, real shit, yeah,
little boys. They just want to display. Yeah, it's totally.
yeah. I would say that is
Part
the
of that
one
is
thing.
genetics too, because they can literally have a baby on their first heat, literally. So they
Yeah,
kind of gotta do that. That's just nature.
yeah.
It gotta be that way.
All three of my females are it's like varying like levels of independent. Like Gray's less independent than Apollo. Apollo's super independent. Moon is also independent too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that's the one thing that's kind of like shown in there, is that the girls are a little bit more independent. Even out of Soma's litter, I've noticed that so those girls too. But again, you know what I'm saying? Their owners, or the males, people who got males are a little bit closer to their dogs. They're kind of, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, if I had to say one difference that I do notice is like my females are a little bit more independent.
That's fair. Just a little bit smaller. Probably like most females, probably like 50, most breeds. It's probably like 15 or 20 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good, yeah, good 10, 15, 20. Yeah.
Pink Swisher. Shout out to the Pink Swisher. We appreciate y'all coming on. But if y'all new to my channel, make sure y'all subscribe to Lamont Roguewolfproject. Also, subscribe to my channel. That's very helpful. We both appreciate it.
Yeah, right on.
So now I like to play the game of hypotheticals. Oh, before we get into that one, how do you be creating your hierarchy within your pack though? Because like I said, like for you said Apollo was like kind of dog aggressive, right?
They all are. All of them are.
Yeah. So what is your tips on that? What is
So
your
this
tips on that?
So this is what I do. So the hierarchy is me, and then I'll choose just by correction who I think should be number two, right? Who they should also take cues from, which is Moon. And so how I'll do that is if I feel like they're doing too much with Moon, then I'll correct them, right? If I feel like, let's say someone's challenging Moon a little too much, I'll correct him. And I'm okay with that, right? Some people might say that might make the dog soft, and I might do this or this or that. I have no doubt someone outside of my yard is going to handle business. I have no doubt. You know what I'm saying? No doubt Apollo, no doubt Moon, no doubt about Gray, no doubt about them handling business. But inside my yard, inside the pack, someone's way too big to ever challenge Moon so much that they get into a fight. He's way too big for that. So what I did was I just kind of corrected him every time before it even got close, right? So you have to understand dog psychology a little bit to do that, not just training. You have to like know what's happening when you see them interacting. But when he would do that, correction, you know what I'm saying? So, and then I would have you have to take chances sometimes to see how. So with Soma and Gray, she'll challenge him, but I got to say, okay, have I done enough with Soma that he understands to correct her, but not say what's do like a retaliation, right? Let's see, you know what I'm saying? You're taking a risk when you do that, you know what I'm saying? And then he does a correction, and good boy, he corrects her, she stops, good boy, you know what I'm saying? And that tells him he did the right thing. Now, if he overdoes it, then I'll get out there, you know what I'm saying? That very rarely happens to the point where I can't just be like, hey, and they stop, you know what I'm saying? But how I made that work in my pack is that those corrections way before it gets to anything. So now when we're out on hikes, they take cues from Moon. You can see them kind of like determine if something is worth going to investigate based on how Moon responds. Because every other time we take cues from her. In the yard, if Moon growls, if they walk up on Moon and she has a stick or a bone and she growls, they just stop and go the other way. No, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because they kind of like been taught to understand that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? We take our cues from her, and then they're able to take cues from each other too. So I know that Soma is super patient with Apollo. I noticed that very early on. I kind of watch it still. You never know. You know what I'm saying? But so I can say with them two, I don't really have any worries if they're out doing something crazy, if it looks crazy. But Gray, I noticed she wants to challenge him. She doesn't really know better. You know what I'm saying?
I noticed that when she was little. She's like, I used to tell you, I was like, yo, she gonna try to take over. I noticed that.
yeah. But what I've done though is I've let Apollo check Gray a little bit more than Soma, because Apollo and Gray are kind of similar in size. Apollo's older, she's bigger, and I know I can stop her, I can tell her to the point, you know what I'm saying? So because I'm able to do that, I'm able to kind of keep Gray submissive, like, or kind of like in that third place to an extent, as long as Apollo's on the yard, because Apollo don't test Soma and Apollo checks Gray. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's just one of those tricks of between training and understanding the psychology of dogs, especially the dogs on your own yard. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, man. I'm learning so much. Like I said, that's the reason why I'll be having these interviews. I just love to learn. I'm a student. Hypotheticals. If you was the president of a bull herder club, I know you would do it, but this is called hypotheticals.
Yeah.
What minimum qualifications will you have for registration purposes, and then also what would be the qualifications for breeding?
So me, I'm in a few groups, and I always hear people say, "Oh man, they're gonna make us have licenses to breed," and they complain about that. Me personally, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be, you would have to take some kind of class in order to be considered a breeder of bull herders, right? In order to register your dogs, the breeder has to have taken some kind of class and be a registered breeder. And that's not just specifically for bull herder, that's for any breed. You know what I'm saying? Understand like what this really means. Understand like what you're really doing. You know what I mean? You know, understand all that it takes to, you know what I'm saying, to do it. If you go through that and you pass, then yeah, you know what I'm saying, that would be the minimum. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would have to have a license to breed. As far as registering them, that would be tough, man. I mean, it would be tough because like I said, you can call so many things a bull herder. You know what I'm saying? You can call so many things a bull herder. That's why I call my dogs rogue wolves. They're technically bull herders, right? You know what I'm saying? But because you can just throw so many things into that bag, and then if I was the president of a bull herder club, I would make everybody get a license, and then I would quit because it was just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the you know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those things. It kind of like
locks you. The performance though, would they have to at least like show some type of, because you already like you base your thing on performance. Would you have to be able to do some type of performance?
That's a tough one too, man. I mean,
like, these do what? I don't know. At least show that they can protect something, or
yeah. I mean, so I would say the dog would have to.
If you do your breedings like that, and you was the president of bull herder club.
Yeah, but my thing about that is this: like, everybody's not that way, though. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not that way. Everybody is not that. You know, what if you have a true bull herder, but let's just say you're not a super social person. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go join a club and teach your dog, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, your dog does this for you at home. It works for you at home. It does, you know what I'm saying? You can prove that it's highly trainable, and then it's technically a bull to a herder. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets so crazy. I see so many crazy things when I'm in like those specific groups like that, and I'm just like, if I was, how would I clean this up? Is you know, it's I would say you have to make one specific mix, you know, just this specific. I don't know. It's just so much, man. I don't know. It's just like that
You know what?
category of dogs.
Just after looking through your application, you haven't showed any video proof or anything. Sorry, you won't be able to be part of this registration.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, because if somebody told me that, you know what I'm saying, I probably would laugh, and I'd be like, get the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Who? Because at the end of the day,
exclusive. So just imagine if you had to show video proof. So that means that your registration would be like legit, like super legit. Well, of course, you're gonna have to do other stuff to make sure it's, background stuff. But if you had to have video, that'd be great. That'd be you have
yeah,
to.
no, I mean, no, that, I mean, I think, I was,
standards.
So to slightly change the question, so when I thought about starting a registry for my own dog, which I still might do, I thought about, maybe having somebody show me some proof of, just what you're doing to prove that the dog is capable of working. You know what I'm saying? Show me some proof.
Yeah.
Show me some proof that, you know what I'm saying? Because, and there's no point in breeding dogs that can't, and there's no point in registering dogs that aren't going to breed. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I would do. Show me some proof. It doesn't have to necessarily be at a club or a technical decoy, but show me, what do you have show me your dog doing this thing that kind of like goes along with what we, the standard of a rogue wolf. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's nice. I think that's fair. And that's fair for other people that don't want to do it. Then
you don't want to do it.
Then there to take your money, but
yeah. That's what I mean. I haven't really decided like what all I would do yet, because I have to like get that far. You know what I'm saying? That kind of, it takes time. But when I thought about that, it was like, show me something that kind of like goes along the standard for this dog as far as temperament, personality, and then you can get your dog. Then you can register your dog. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I also wouldn't allow them to neuter or spay the dog unless it was unhealthy before it was 2 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. If you do, I mean, things like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like
that's
yeah.
That's a huge one, bro.
Yeah,
that's great right there. You know what I mean? Getting your dog sprayed and it's leading to all types of like cancers and stuff. Yeah. So back to the training tips. A lot of people that listen to this just want general. They don't know how to train their dogs at all. What are some things that you do for like as a puppy, for like potty training and things like that? What are some tips you have for the people out there? For potty, how do you do it?
Potty training. So what always works for me is schedule, right? Keeping a super good schedule. And you got to be unapologetic about it, right? Sometimes people will tell me, well, my dog didn't finish the bowl. Pick it up anyway. You know what I'm saying? So what I would do is, with my dogs, is say, when I get down on one puppy and I want to house break it, I'll feed it. Let's say I get up at 6 a.m. First thing I'll do is I'll take it out. I'll kind of like help it to kind of empty out, pee at least. And we come back in and we eat, and then the dog will be watched, right? I don't just leave the dog loose in the house to run. It will have a leash on, or it'll be right where I can reach it or where I can see it. And sometime within the next 15 minutes, if it doesn't try to piss or shit, I'll take it outside. And we'll do that every single time. By day 4 or 5, I'll have it at the door, walking outside on its own, right? By day 10, I can just kind of call it. We go out the door, we walk out the door together. Now I'm kind of like building on this idea that we eat, we go outside for this specific thing, and we come back in the house. You're still going to have accidents, but until your dog is potty trained, tether it, put it on a leash in the house, keep it close to you, and you can kind of correct it before it happens, and you follow that same thing, and you walk out the same pattern. You walk outside, let it do its thing. And eventually the dog just understands that I only do this outside. I get my negative marker. No, I stop, whatever it is. whenever I try to do this in the house, when I go outside, you know what I'm saying? Anytime I go to the door, to this door, it's what we're going for. You know what I mean? But again, it'll look good at like 4 months. Let's say you do start it at 2 months. At 4 months, it'll look good. The dog is not housebroken. Do this for a year. You know what I mean? Do it for a year. And after that, you can say your dog is housebroken. Then it should be housebroken. It'll be just fine by then.
That's some great information, y'all. Because I know a lot of times people have challenges with that. You know, they be, and then one thing I put this on there. I do not. I don't know if you do it, but I do not buy puppy pads. Those
Yeah,
pads.
no.
It's training them to use the bathroom in your house. I don't.
Yeah, no. None of that. Yeah, that's like I said. You gotta commit.
That is
the food goes down for about 15 minutes. What he don't eat, what he or she don't eat, comes up, and then again, you watch him, keep him close to you. Make time. You got to be, you got to be consistent. Puppy pads are for somebody who don't really want to really be consistent. You know what I'm saying? You got to be consistent, and then yeah.
Well, when do you, for your puppies? When do you start to add some obedience on them? Because I know some they want their puppy to look like what they see on the internet, where they don't let their dog be a puppy, but at the same time, some people is so extreme that they don't oh, he's just a puppy. No, you need some structure. So
so with the experience that I have now, I can kind of wait a little bit longer. Like I waited with Gray because I was just confident that the communication between Gray and I was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I knew that we wasn't, I knew I could get her to listen even when she was tripping. But at the most, I want to say 2 months is I'll teach just the things that are to me are the most necessary things, like sit and come back to me and no. That's about all I need for 7, 8 months. You know what I'm saying? 7, 8, 9 months. You know what I mean? Like, and I can start sit at maybe 8 weeks. You know what I mean? Like you said, the dog industry will fool you into wasting your time trying to do things that are unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Trying to teach your dog to do unnecessary things too early. The dog never gets to be a puppy, and you never enjoy the dog. You know what I'm saying? So I try to show my dog supernatural, and with that, it comes just obedience as I need it, as I go. You know what I mean? So, for example, I walk my dogs every day. We walk past people, we walk past noises, cars, everything. So, but now I want to take them to Home Depot. And so it's 2. He's never been in Home Depot, but he had enough experience with me to know that we just walk past people. We don't, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as outside. And I can give him a small correction in there, you know what I'm saying, to something, and he kind of understands what I need from him. And it works just fine. He don't have to have like a super tight heel because he ain't going to go nowhere. He understands how we do this every single day. He don't have to turn on the left. You know what I'm saying? He don't got to do any of that stuff. He gets at Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? I start that, as I need it, really. If I get the basic sit because I need the dog to stop and be safe whenever I needed to. That's what I use sit for. Sit means just kind of like stay and be safe. And then I'll teach it to come back because I need that in case it's doing something crazy, and to come back to me. Those two are for me must, right? Those are the top of the list. Come back, recall is the first, a must.
That's life and death right there.
Yeah. Then sit and then no, right? To understand what that means. Like, and you gotta be no, it can be whatever to tell the dog to stop doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I get those things, and everything else just kind of like as I need it, if I need it. You know what I'm saying? My dogs know down, right? Because I'm bored. I was bored. I want to teach them down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing else to do. But it would be a very rare time that I need my dog to lay down. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? I just can't imagine, unless I'm tired of them, I just want them to get away from me. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I don't need that really. And the dog industry will have you thinking that you need all these things. Now, Moon knows 25, 30 commands, and Summer probably knows 20. But those are all for fun. That ain't for it. It's not necessary
for streets. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. A lot of stuff just be for fun. Like even when my dog was teaching them backwards. A lot of stuff
for fun. Yeah.
That's just for a general person. Now, if you buy a dog from Lamont and your goal is to do PSA, then your training is going to be a little different. You're going to
It's
want
gonna
to
be different. Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna want to put them on a schedule with the down, the heel,
right.
all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
different things. You're gonna have to do it, in which they can, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it. I'm just speaking for like a person who, the average person who got their first puppy. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know when to train your dog, I would say teach it those three things, get it tight on those three things, and then everything else you're just gonna do as you go along. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna do as necessary. If you bond with your dog pretty good, um, you'll be able to teach it shit forever. You say you can teach an old dog new tricks. You can. If your dog understands when it's time to work and what that posture looks like, what that language is, then you'll be just fine. You know what I mean? Whenever you want to teach it that stuff.
Yeah, that's a lie. You can teach old dogs new tricks. I don't know why people
Yeah.
made that up.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie. People believe it too.
Yeah.
So that's with the training. You got your hierarchy down. Now, how do you deal because I know a lot of breeders. How do you deal with kennel blindness?
Man, because I've had it before. You know what I'm saying? I have had it before. I've had it before. How I deal with it now.
At least
So
you're honest.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I've made all the mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I've done it. I've had it before. I've made all the mistakes. Um, and because I can keep it real with myself, I can look at the dogs and keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I can look at them and keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, but how I keep from it is, like I said, I keep nature. You know what I'm saying? I keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this going to be respectful to nature? You know what I'm saying? And is it really going to go in the direction that I want to go in? You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta just keep it. I think it's a little bit easier to not be kennel blind when you don't breed for money. You know what I'm saying? If you're breeding for like a real purpose, then you really want that purpose to, you know what I'm saying? You really want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I really want. You know what I'm saying? I want my grandkids to have these dogs, and I want my grandkids to not know that these started 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I want them to feel like they were always here. You know what I'm saying? And their grandkids, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So, I just gotta, with that way, you know what I'm saying, you could be able to keep it a little bit more real, I think. You know what I'm saying?
At least you done it.
Yeah.
It takes like I don't know if it take another person telling you, oh, this ain't it, bro, or something, or I don't know. But I guess
Yeah, with me, man. So when I did it, when I was doing it, it was really just the dog I was breeding, she was a pit bull, and it was kind of like the popular kind of like what I'm saying, like what people wanted to do, but I knew, I don't know, man. I felt horrible, really, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to, like, if I keep nature involved and I'm not really breeding for money, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier.
And one thing I want to say this too, kennel blunt, that might be your level or something. So you might.
Oh yeah,
That's based
definitely.
on your kennel balance is based on like your goals, because the dog that you might think is a C is an A+ to somebody else.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
It might be
definitely.
A+ to somebody else.
Yeah.
You might get a dog that just don't fit. You might get a dog that's super dog aggressive, that's going against Soma, Apollo, Great, and you just gonna have to get rid of them. Now,
So I think so. Kennel blindness don't really. It's not a big deal until you breed that dog. That's when it's like you know what I'm saying? Okay, you tripping.
Exactly.
It's right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like it was in front of you at first. You bred the dog anyway, and then you know what I'm saying. So that's when it really kind of like bites you, as if when you breed that dog. But yeah, I mean, I can, like I said, plus me at this point in like most people's not most people, but people like myself, everything is documented. It's all online. You know what I'm saying? So it's if there's something out there, it'll get called out. You know what I'm saying? It'll get pointed out. You know what I'm saying? It's all out there. It's all public. You know what I'm saying? So, so the world will let me know, and I keep it real with myself about that kind of stuff.
Funny thing about that is because humans, the natural thing is to think that your dog is just the best. Like,
oh yeah. So that's there. That's gonna always be there. I feel like Moon and Soma
yeah,
are the best dogs in the world.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Everybody think their dog is the best dog ever.
Yeah.
You mix that with,
Even when I see a nice dog, and I'd be like, "Oh man, that dog is nice." I'd be like, "Man, someone." But you know what I'm saying. But that's just what I'm saying.
That's just a human thing, though.
Human nature. But
it's like you checking somebody else. Like when you play sports. If you ever play sport, you know how it is. You like, oh, he's nice.
Yeah.
He can't run
He
fast.
nice, but he better. Yeah, but he gonna get it today. Yeah.
Or he can't lift more than me. I can do this. You find one thing that you better at than this person.
Oh yeah.
He's faster than me in a 100, but the 200 he can't touch me.
Oh no, he can't. Yeah. He ain't got the win. Yeah.
You don't got no stamina, so you got that's how the dog game is. The dog game, like you said though, is like I'm part of the some pit bull group, and it just the stories I be hearing be wild, man. Crazy. The stories people be really. I think what group of dog people you feel is the most passionate? Would you say pit bulls?
Ooh, man, it's tough, man. I don't know. I would say it's
already kind of the same thing, like Pressers, whatever, Connie's.
The presser groups, if you ever in any of those groups, that shit is nuts. It's wild. But the pit bull group is bigger, right? You know what I'm saying? And then when you say the word game, right? Then it's a whole nother spark of different of people, you know what I'm saying? But I would say the pit bull people, like the pit bull community don't get as wild as the presser community. The presser community, I mean,
what's up, Daniel? Thanks for watching.
Daniel, what's happening? Yeah, I talk to Daniel all the time. Yeah. What's happening, Daniel?
What's the beef? What's the challenge with the pressers though? Because the only thing I don't really know a super whole lot. The only thing I know is didn't they recently change the standard? So recently did it where the size or whatever or black ain't supposed to be there or I don't know.
So yeah, I mean so much. I mean it's just so much. I mean the thing is like when I was in, I never knew what was true really. Honestly, you would hear something like that be argued, and then you hear something like this be argued, and then But I'm just like if they were bred for performance. Over and over and over, it'd be tough to even have this conversation that y'all are having. You know what I mean? Like, but what I mean by the community sometimes can be like crazy is the things they're willing to say to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's makes me.
It's too deep. It's like.
Yeah.
It'd be too much. Like
I
just observe. I don't be debating or nothing.
Me too. I never. Even when people try to debate with me, I just be like, "Hey, go look at the dogs, though.
Yeah,
when you're done, go look at my dogs when you're done." You know what I'm saying?
I'm just here to learn and have some fun.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Going back and forth, but and it's funny because Pressers is one of my favorite dogs. So speaking of favorite dogs, so besides pit bulls and herders, what are between 3 and 5 of your favorite breeds out there?
I always loved American Bulldogs. Those are probably
besides the bull breeds and besides herders.
Besides those, so most people don't know this. I am a sight hound fiend. I love the sight hounds. Greyhounds, Salukis, Borzois, the Irish Wolfhound, kind of a sight hound. I love them, and I always dream of incorporating that a little bit into my dog. But the reason I don't is because in my real life today, I kind of breed dogs based on my real life. In my real life, I don't need a dog to be that kind of, you know what I'm saying, to kind of want that kind of life to run, and I don't hunt coyotes and all that kind of, you know what I'm saying, But the thing I love about those dogs is, for the most part, if you get one of those dogs, it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It's in there. It's gonna want to run. It's gonna want to. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that variance like in other breeds where you say, okay, if I got a Cane Corso, it doesn't guard though, but it's pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't get that kind of thing in the sight hounds. Those things you put them down.
They got a higher propensity to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
And I, as far as my experience goes, every time I meet a breeder of one, their dogs actually work. Their dogs actually run. They actually do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just love them, man. Like they're bred in a way that say you might get like a pit bull that they call a cold dog. You ain't getting no cold greyhound. He's gonna run. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
what do they be hunting though? Like what are some of the
rabbits, hares? I see them doing coyotes often.
Okay.
Fox, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fox, coyotes, vermin, and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah. And fire, man, you gotta check them out. Check some out. Some of like they're crossing them with bull breeds, and I think, don't quote me, but I think that they're calling them lurkers or something like that. And
lurchers. Oh yeah. Some
yeah,
guys,
fire dogs. Yeah, you gotta check those out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
those are.
So besides sight hands, what else you like?
I was kind of, for a while I was into like livestock guardian breeds. And for me, I call Rottweilers livestock guardian breeds too.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like fit them in there. But I was like, but even like the damn, what's the dog? Saint Bernards, and so Saint Bernards, Rottweilers, what's that other black, brown, and white dog? I can't think of the name of it right now.
Buceron? Like
no, it's black, brown, and white. Black, tan, and white, I should say.
What kind of work do they do?
Burmese mountain dogs.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I had some of those dogs back in the day. I bred those dogs back in the day, and they were so. Man, they were fun too, man. They were such a dope dog. But at that time, I didn't really have no work for them. You know what I'm saying? I had them, and they had all the capabilities, and I started like to study the history. So you take those dogs and Rottweilers and Saint Bernards and even American Bulldogs, and they're all bred down from each other, and like, you know what I mean? So like understanding, like, those dogs kind of like put me in the understanding of livestock guardian dogs. Kind of like raised my level of understanding of like dogs natural to specific regions. You know what I'm saying? Like these dogs have been here for 1,000 years doing this thing, and then you get them in America and they kind of like turn into something else. But it kind of put me onto those kind of dogs. Another one that's kind of like that for me is the Basenjis. But I like the ones that are like natural to their region, and you see those dogs and they're fire.
They be hunting, right? They be hunting.
Yeah. Fire. You know what I mean? And I knew a guy in North Carolina who had some. And actually, there's a dog on my Instagram. His name was Soul. Soul was a game dog bred to a Basenji, and that dog was fire. He was fire, bro. He was nice. I sold Soul to a guy who wanted his farm eradicated and, you know what I'm saying, protected and stuff like that. He was fire though. But those are another one of my favorite dogs that just kind of like slept on as far as like working ability. You know what I'm saying?
It's amazing, man. I just been learning about Turkish Bosch Shepherds too, as far as livestock guardians. Turkish Bosch, but a lot of them may be like 170.
That's the thing, yeah, man. That's what took me away from them. When I had Saint Bernards, and they were like 170 pounds. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, maybe like 150, but even then, it was just like, you can't have more than 2 of these things. 2 is too much, really, honestly. You know what I'm saying? That's 300 pounds.
Colorado with some land, and you run into the bobcats, mountain lions.
Maybe.
Wolves, then you technically gonna almost gotta have a dog like that, because these little certain dogs, they gonna get killed. Like they gonna get killed. So you gotta have something that's gonna protect you from a wolf. Wolves are big.
I had to downsize from those. You know what I mean? I think the last huge dog I had was a bull mastiff, and once I got rid of him, it was kind of like I was done with those huge dogs.
And bulls mastiffs be like 100 and something.
Man, my bull mastiff was probably 145 pounds. He was,
Oh, oh wow.
yeah, he was huge.
Yeah.
He might have been bigger. I mean, he was huge, man. That was a huge. He was huge. He was one of, he was. This is back when bull mastiffs were. They don't look like they look now. But he was a real dog. He was a real. That was a real dog.
So speaking of what's your favorite? What you think pound for pound? If you wanted a game pit bull, which one you go with? Which line of pit bull would you go with?
So this is just based on.
The pads. I'm sure you know the pads are all of.
Yeah. This is just based. This is just based on myth. Apollo's back in. It's just based on myth. I was not there for any of it, but just some of the stories that I hear, and the thing that I like when I hear these stories, I would say Eli dogs. You know what I mean? When I was breeding dogs, the dogs that I had were Eli dogs. The last dog that I had was supposedly an Eli. I told you about it from the guy who didn't really rock with us like that. I mean, but she is one of the best dogs I ever had. And I've seen a bunch of other dogs. I've seen a bunch of other dogs from other lines, and she is still to this day, one of the best dogs that I've ever had as far as being a pit bull, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? She's one of the best dogs I've ever seen. Amazing dog. She was incredible. That was an incredible dog. She might be on my page somewhere too. There's a picture of me with like her and a white pit bull. If y'all follow me on Instagram, she's on there. Her name was Crumb Fire. But those dogs, a lot of those dogs that I got from that line were just at the time. So where I was living at, they were running other lines, and they had a bunch of nice dogs that were popular dogs that had done some dope things, and it was me and one other guy that had Eli dogs. And when I got mine, I remember nobody, she was kind of like overlooked. Nobody thought she would be anything. And just at every turn, every time she was tested, it was like, man, this dog is incredible every single time. I mean, she probably never was the overdog. You know what I'm saying? She probably was the underdog every single time. And she outperformed every dog that she ever saw. Hey, Apollo heard Jaguar. Hey,
you hear Jaguar? Jaguar, be quiet. So Eli dog. So you recommend Eli dogs. Now, Soma's the only male out of your pack, right? And then the rest female. You feel like that's better? You feel like that's better to have mostly females than one guy than having mostly guys and a female, or?
It has been. It has been. So, but the thing is, I've had multiple males in the same kind of pattern like I do now. I've had multiple males in this kind of pack like I do now, but this does feel good though. It does feel a little bit better. But I'm probably gonna get another male soon, and hopefully it keeps going the way that it's going. I might have to like change it up a little bit, change up some things, but. But my females, I would say the only thing that kind of it makes me a little less worrisome is that my females are of a size where I can just reach in there and maybe grab them. Some are so big that I gotta like, if he were to get into a fight, dog his size, I gotta look, see what's going on, and map it out first. You know what I'm saying? How I'm gonna get in there. With the girls, I can just reach in and grab them and break them up. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of makes it easier, but. I'm about to find out. I'm gonna get a mail soon, so we're gonna find out.
Are you keeping one of the pups from this litter? Right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm either gonna keep a pup from this litter, or someone's litter mate brother. My bad, man. Apollo just came back in. She got the pups going crazy. Someone's litter mate brother is breeding to his sister, his half sister from the same dad. So I might get one of those puppies. I'm gonna go out of this room. So
okay.
Give me a second.
They ready to eat.
Yeah. I'll let y'all see him real quick.
Oh yeah, show us them.
Y'all see him?
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's standing on Jones too. She a good mom.
Give me 1 second.
Shower, chill out. Come here. Sit.
All right. Shit, my bad, y'all. But yeah,
dogs be hearing all types of stuff, bro. They be smelling stuff. I'm looking outside. How do you know it was a cat or a raccoon? Oh, that's amazing. Like, bro, it's amazing how they be smelling. So yeah, so you got that one. And you don't really do that many breeds. You do like maybe one a year.
Yeah. So currently, yeah, I try to put to my dogs are 2 years old, and I'm gonna breed Gray next year when she's 2 years old, probably this time next year, and then unless I do an outcross, which I probably don't have any plans on doing, yeah, it'll probably be another year. Yeah, it'll probably be I want to say within the next 5 years, I'll probably only have 5 breedings in the next 5 years.
So you
But no, that's not true because I'll breed Gray twice. I'll probably breed Gray back to back next year. I'll breed Gray twice next year. Yeah. I mean, this is just if everything goes the way I want it to go. I'll breed Gray twice next year.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So I guess they call you like a hobby breeder. It's not like that's what they call it, right? Hobby breeding.
Yeah,
yeah. You just hobby breeding.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, currently, just because, like I said, now I understand. Like one thing that we talked about, like presser community, pit bull community, herder community. Like I have to build a community for the dogs too, right? I got to find the right people. I want to do all that kind of stuff, and that takes time. I don't want it to just kind of like give it to people and it turns into a bunch of arguments and debates. I just want people to enjoy their dogs. You know what I'm saying? So
you know how humans are. No matter what, gotta do everything.
Yeah. So trying to build that it'll take as much time as like putting together the right breedings. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like finding the right people, getting the right audience, getting the right clientele, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I mean, I know it might be, let's say 3 out of 10 people who get a puppy are the actual 100% right. But if I do that, kind of, add a person every year, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be going in a good direction. You know what I'm saying?
Slow and steady, but just have your dogs being able to perform.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's really satisfying. But that's a good feeling to breed a dog and they actually,
turn out
good and like really do what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that is, as a breeder, and I'm sure most breeders who are breeding for performance, but also have to keep a puppy from whatever. Let's say a person gets to, I need this litter. I need a puppy from this litter. When you have a feeling of it might not turn out, you know what I'm saying? But then when it does, when you see it start to, you're like, yes, you know what I'm saying? It actually is working, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you like there's always that little bit of doubt, you know what I'm saying? A small, tiny bit of doubt, you know what I'm saying? You stay confident, you do it anyway, you know what I'm saying? But when you see it start to shape up, that does feel good.
Now, before we get out of here, are you familiar with like weighted vests or anything? Do you use those?
Weighted vests, yeah. I don't use them so much no more. Like when Moon was younger, I used them. I tell people all the time, it does work. Weighted vests, all that stuff, they do work. The collars, weighted collars, they do work. But the dog industry is kind of a myth. You don't need them. You could do this. You can get the same results just by some natural work, smaller work. You know what I'm saying? You can get the same results, but I mean, and then again, what is the goal? You know what I'm saying? I would wait until the dog is probably a year and a half, maybe a year at the earliest to put it on them. And then what's the goal for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to build up to? If it's nothing, then you kind of like weigh the damage that's possible versus just taking your dog to swimming. You know what I'm saying? Take your dog swimming a few times. You know what I'm saying? Feed your dog a good diet. You know what I'm saying? Take your dog running. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a bike, if it'll fetch, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can get similar results just by doing some of that stuff. And too often people like put the vest on their dog way too early. And then you take it off when you stop using it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? You know what I'm saying? What was it for? If a dog is being trained to do like a job,
of course, muscle definition. I'm sure. What else you think it'll help with? Just endurance.
Yeah, endurance. You know what I'm saying? If a dog's going to be trained to do a job, say pull a sled or pull people, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, you wanted to have it. So you want muscle fatigue to not really be a thing, right? So where like the dog is struggling enough to pull this person, but only for 10 minutes. If I can kind of like work those muscles a little bit longer, then the dog doesn't get muscle fatigue and the dog can go a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't, I don't know how long you have to do it in order for it to be effective enough. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say what I mean by that is like effective enough to actually buy the vest. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you really training this dog to do something before you spend your money? Because you can just go run your dog, or you can just go take your dog swimming or climb in, or, if you take your dog to, say your dog would jump fences. My dog would jump fences. I could take my dog to jump fences with maybe just a weighted collar on. That's a lot lighter than a weighted vest, and get the same outcome. Just a much simpler thing, cheaper, easier. I can do it without the collar. 10 times over, we go home, do this 5 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Do not 5 times a day, but you know what I'm saying, a few days a week, a weekend or whatever, as opposed to putting this vest on for 10 minutes, maybe once or twice a month. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. It makes sense. It's just like how, like humans, people buy all this exercise equipment.
All this stuff, yeah.
Won't do they need too much.
Do a push-up, and stop eating. Eat right. People come to me and try to say, "Well, how can I get a 6-pack?" You got a 6-pack. Just you know what I'm saying, get rid of the fat around it. It'll show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go buy no resistance bands. I mean, they will help, but you know what I'm saying, if you're not going to really do the work, really don't fall for like the industry's tricks to get you to spend your money, is what I'm saying, basically.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, man, that's basically all I had. So your litter, they'll be ready to what's the best way for people to contact you if they want to go further?
The best way to
see one of your dogs in one of those sports, because I think they can do it. I know they can do it. I like to see it.
I'm hoping I do get at least one sport person, and I think I do have one who is interested in the puppy. Yeah.
A lot of people ain't gonna do the IGP because you got the tracking and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So rather do the
PSA. Yeah. I do think I have one person who's into that, who is likely to get one. But if you want to contact me, Instagram is the best way. Roguewolfproject at Instagram. And then my email is the same, roguewolfproject@gmail.com.
Let me put it into the thing. Jaguar, chill out, buddy. Let me see. ROGUE.
Yeah.
Project.
Yep. So my shirt, you have to see it.
And they're about 3 weeks, so they probably, what's 5 weeks from now? It's like the first week of September.
Somewhere around there, yeah. And they are looking good too. Go check them out if y'all haven't seen them. They're on my YouTube and my Instagram. Go check them out. They are looking so good. If you like athletic, strong, powerful, smart dogs, go check them out. They are looking good.
That's what's up, man. Anything else you want to tell the people?
No, just check me out. YouTube, Roguewolf Project, Instagram, Roguewolf Project. Everything I want to know is there.
And if Lamont can overcome kennel blindness, so can you.
Anybody can, yeah. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But you have to do it. You won't get nowhere until you do it. You have to do it.
You gotta want to do it too.
Yeah, you gotta want to do it. Yeah.
All that money, they like, forget this people are going. They'll just make this money, but it always come back though.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, man, for taking the time out, man.
All right, man. Right on, right on. I appreciate you too, bro. I'll get with you later on.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Take it easy. All right, man. Thanks. Let me make sure.